Hi everyone, my name is Kevin, and I've been a trucker for close to 15 years now. I want to share a story that happened to me back in 2017. I was driving an overnight haul through the Mojave Desert in California, headed for a destination in Arizona. I think I was delivering appliances, but I don't really remember. It was pitch black, and the headlights on my semi were really dim. I had been putting off getting them fixed, and with no other cars on the road, it was painfully obvious. I had to strain my eyes to make out the road ahead, and it was a struggle. I considered pulling over and waiting for sunrise, but I desperately needed the money, so I kept driving. It was about an hour before sunrise when I saw something approaching fast in the distance. Worried about hitting an animal, I slammed on the brakes. As my truck screeched to a stop, I realized it was a car with its hazards on, right in the middle of the road. The passenger door was wide open. My truck stopped just a foot before hitting it. I'm a pretty fearless guy, so I wasn't really scared, just curious. I thought maybe someone needed help, so I reversed the semi and pulled over. I got out of my truck and made my way over to the car. It was a new-looking red Ford Fusion. The night was eerily quiet, with only the faint click of the hazards breaking the silence. As I got closer, I saw that the car was completely empty. I checked the back seat, and everywhere someone might be hiding. There was no one inside. I felt uneasy and kept looking around, feeling like someone might charge at me from the darkness. Against my better judgment, I decided to keep investigating. The key was in the ignition, but the engine was off. I tried to open the trunk, but it was locked. I grabbed the key from the ignition and unlocked the trunk, but it was jammed. I managed to open it through the back seat and found 3 squished garbage bags and a rope tying the trunk closed. Just as I was about to check the bags, a loud gunshot rang out. I slammed my head on the roof in shock. I heard a grungy voice yelling in the distance, quickly approaching. I scrambled back into my semi, turned it on, and threw it into gear. As I began to drive away, I saw a short, husky guy with red hair, wearing overalls and shin-high boots. He was holding a small shovel in one hand and an old hunting rifle in the other. We locked eyes for a few seconds, and he started waving his hands, yelling for me to wait, but there was no way I was staying. I sped off, pushing the semi faster than I should have. After a few minutes, I saw headlights fast approaching behind me. Feeling more scared than I've ever felt, I called the police and explained what happened. The car was right on my tail, honking like crazy. After about 15 minutes, he cut in front of me and hit his brakes, forcing me to slow down. Just as I was about to crash into him, police lights appeared ahead. The car veered off into the desert and disappeared. I pulled over and told the officer what happened. Instead of chasing the guy, the cop took my report and said they would search the area. They never called me back with any updates. To this day, none of my buddies have a story this crazy. I like to think the guy was burying an animal, but I really have no idea. This experience has made me uneasy about driving through deserts at night. I'm sure you've seen some modern videos where truckers document their routines and provide tips. Being on the younger side in this industry, I see them all the time on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I had to drop out of a prestigious university for personal reasons, and people always tell me I could have been more than a trucker. But I've been making deliveries for over 2 years now, and despite the long hours and isolation, it's not a bad gig. Just make peace with your demons because they will haunt you in the lonely hours on the road. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more terrifying tales from the road. Have you ever experienced something strange while driving at night? Share your stories in the comments below.